Don't expect thought out, well written, high quality writing. Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind? But the moment he started smoking all of them vampires, I knew that he wasn't one to fuck with. Now, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. The acting was absolutely dead. It was so weak. And bro, I flipping loved it. Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. Yo, what is good my people? It's your boy Nick, aka your Slice of Fiji and Spice, blessing your screens yet again with another video. Now for those of you who haven't seen my last video, make sure you go run that up, link is in the description. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm a fuck off Marvel fan. I honestly do not know how for 25 years I have gone without seeing a single Blade film, cause fucking hell it was crazy. But before I get into it, as always, make sure you do me a huge fuck off favor and hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you turn on bell notifications for more content. Now, let's get into Blade. Pause. Now, first and foremost, it was an absolutely mid film, but at the same time, one of the most entertaining Marvel films that I've seen in a very long time. And being a Marvel fan, growing up in the MCU, having it owned by Disney, I'm used to hella censorship. I'm used to so much censorship that I forgot censorship was a thing back then. And because it was Marvel's first ever horror film, you forget how completely unapologetic it was. And bro, I flipping loved it. Now, first and foremost, if you haven't seen this film, I definitely recommend to go run it up. However, don't expect thought out, well written, high quality writing. Because compared to other superhero films like the Tom Holland Spider-Man series, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians, Age of Ultron, it's nothing like that. Essentially, you're watching a bloody, gory, horror action film with weak acting and a weak plot. Now, let me break it down for you. Let's start with the action. I didn't expect the action and the fight scenes to be as good as what they were. I mean, scratch that. It was way better than what I thought it would be. Because to be honest, I was expecting poor fight choreography, poor camera angles, and just a bunch of awkward shots that made it look real. But there was actually a lot of thought that went into the fight choreography and the action scenes. Now, whether that was down to Wesley Snipes or his stunt double or whoever, I don't know and I don't care. At the end of the day, I flipping loved the fight scenes. I thought they were probably some of the best that we've seen in a very long time. It made Blade look like a formidable opponent. This is coming from a person that's never ever seen Blade fight before, other than maybe in Deadpool 3. This was a shock. This was a shock. And it really took me by surprise, I'll be honest, because if you take a look at some modern MCU films, let's just say, for example, Captain America Winter Soldier, it was hard to keep track of the fight scenes because the camera was just shaking and moving about all over the place. And I'm not sure if that was intentional, but for me, when I'm watching a movie, especially if it has a fight scene in it, I want to see exactly what's going on. And I was really happy to see that in Blade, I'll be very honest. For some reason, I thought Blade was going to be one of those superheroes who just relies on his weapons and his swords in order to get the job done. And if he's out of ammo or if the swords break, then he just goes scrapping, basically. Like it would just turn into a really shitty brawl. But the moment he started smoking all of them vampires, I knew that he wasn't one to fuck with. Now, one thing that springs to mind when people talk about action is the CGI. Now, I'm not going to do a full spread on how, bad the CGI was, because at the end of the day, the film was made in the late 90s. So there's only so much they could have done. And really and truly, there's some newer Marvel films where the CGI is just as bad as what it was in this Blade film. So even though the CGI was bad, I'm not expecting some Michael Bay Transformers type bullshit, you get me? Now, next off, we've got the acting. Now, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. The acting was absolutely dead. It was so weak. I think back then, especially when it came to superhero films and martial art films and, horror films, it was less about your actual acting ability and more about how good you looked in front of the camera. Because everybody looked good, no homo. And I feel like that because of that, people didn't really take superhero films that seriously. And because superhero movies weren't as big as what they are now, everyone was able to get away with, really shit, cheap, hammy acting. I can't lie though, I did like Wesley Snipes' improvisation bits. Or at least I think they were improvised. For example, when he's getting shot up by the police and he's like, "Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?" Or the classic, some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. But other than that, I just thought everybody else was weak. Now, let's get into the plot. To be honest, there's not really a lot to talk about considering the plot was absolutely mid as fuck. And it's a shame because it started off really strong, but then it plateaued and never really went anywhere. And instead just relied on blood, gore, sex, and suspense to keep us entertained. I mean, just think about it. The idea of a vampire going around killing other vampires is intriguing to say the least. When you hear something like that, you're excited, you're intrigued, you want to know more. But instead of getting more, the plot just developed into dog water. And the villain was an idiot as well. Like, I can't lie, he was just somebody that I just wanted to slap the shit out of. I mean, he was just a typical R-rated Edward Cullen power-hungry twat who served absolutely no function in the plot at all whatsoever, other than being the guy that Blade needs to kill. That's all he was. Just somebody that we knew Blade had to kill. to the point that by the time you actually get to the end, you're completely and utterly exhausted. At the end of the day, I knew what I was getting into when I was watching this film. I wasn't expecting Civil War, Spider-Man, Captain America type of writing and plots, but at the same time, I have to give my honest opinion on it. The parts that were good were absolutely phenomenal, and the parts that were bad were bad. That's it. It was a fun movie that wasn't objectively a good movie, but something that you can switch off to. You're not sitting there having to worry about how is this going to tie into the MCU, how is it going to tie into this character, this villain, this person over here, oh there's a cameo over here, there's a cameo over there. You don't have to worry about none of that. It's just a fun action movie with meaty acting and a meaty plot. In any case guys, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section below. I've been your boy Nick, thanks for watching, bless.